It's hard for some people, though, isn't it? I mean, you get caught in this marketing speak so much. Yeah. Everything you say has got to be tailored. How much do you blame the press for that? I mean,
it's, you know, there's blame that one could do, and then there's just reality, you know, and then there's the way things are. Like I could say, you know, I'm blaming my snakes got eaten by the hawks, you know, I'm blaming the hawks, but you know, that's the cycle of things.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you don't have clout, or if you don't have a lot of money, if you don't have something valuable, you know, you will get chewed up. Someone won't like you. They'll have visibility in some way. They'll write bullshit about you. I mean, I remember like Penny Arcade, for example, right? I had some employees. It didn't work out. Right. And whatever, you know, it happens, right? And they were friends with the guys who do the Penny Arcade. Yeah. Then that became a bit. Now, since that time, I've like, anytime a Penny Arcade's going to do something on me, it'll be totally insulting. It'll be totally, you know, whatever. Fine. You know, do they know what they're talking about? Absolutely not. Do they want to have a voice and stick up for their little buddy? Absolutely. You know, am I the target of that? Absolutely. Yeah. So you can't win. I mean, we talk about the price Ruben paid. You know, look at the price of his house. You know, that's a price we'd like to pay.
You know, so there's a lot of feeling of responsibility for the people who care that we don't let them down. You know, and if we let them down, I want to jump off the building. You know, no doubt, because any artist that you know, and this is what I try to tell people all the time and get them to understand, as a creator, as a designer, as an artist, the last thing you did represents your heart and soul. It represents your capacity. And so when what they do, you know, it's different, right? If you're a banker, if you're an attorney, if you're a lot of different things, an executive, you know, there's a lot of ways that you can kind of hide. You know what I mean? You can have a lot of successes without really having been an entity that made those successes happen. But as an artist, as a person who deals in, whether you're music or an actor, your full vulnerability is visible to everyone, because you did give it your best shot. And if it sucks, you know that's how you're going to be looked at. It's not like you can just say, well, the company fucked up. You know, I mean, you have this sense of personal integrity on the line. And as a creator, that's one of the, you know, that's why actors really get up on the stage. They don't do it because they think they're going to get rich. They do it because they love to move an audience. And when they don't, they're devastated. And, you know, I'm no different, right? So the process of why the brand's still alive, why we made the choices we did, we could have stuck a lot of money in our pockets at different times. Quite frankly, we never did. Even though, you know, the characters up at what's that cartoon called? Penny Arcade. You know, they've made some insulting things about me that just basically had zero basis in truth. The money hat, whatever that shit. We didn't take any money. We kept the studio alive. But you know, no one cares about that stuff. That's just the drama. But the point is you feel this sense of vulnerability personally on the line. I've never lost that sense of vulnerability. I don't feel I've ever gotten arrogant, you know, from the successes, because as an artist, you feel like, oh my God, we had that success. Now, how do we sustain it? You know, how do we keep it up there? And, you know, I think that's a lot of what drives. I mean, if you listen to people like Martha Graham, you know, the founder of modern dance, she goes, that never-ending sense that nothing is ever complete and done right is what you live with as a good artist.
Yeah.
And I think that's true, you know, and it was becoming very uncool to say you're making art in the game industry, right? Because everyone would like to get up on stage and say, we're not making art. This is a business. Well, you know what? We are.
Yeah.
Like, period. Right. And I love the idea that today, because we don't have to go through retailers, we don't have to go through publishers, that we can make experiences that we think people like, and we can find a way to get that to them ourselves with the support of networks, you know, Steam, PSN, you know, GOG, across the board. You know, we're on close to a dozen globally in up to, you know, 22 different languages. But you still live with that never-ending sense of how do we keep the audience happy, and why are we doing this in the first place? So anyway, for whatever that's worth.
Absolutely.